Good morning. Welcome to Dispatch Radio. This is Brandon Jones. We're the globaldispatch.com and bringing you in the news, catching you up on what's been going on this week. We have some great interviews, an action-packed show for you this week. With me, as always, the infectious disease guru himself, Robert Harriman. How you doing this morning, Bob?
Brandon, great day.
It is a great day. I want to jump right to, I want to go ahead and preview. Next week, we start the expansion of the Dispatch Radio Network here. We're going to add another half hour right before this. So beginning at 7:30, Bob will be presenting Outbreak News. So Bob, tell us a little bit about what people can expect.
Sure. Outbreak News this week, 7:30 on Saturday mornings. It's, as I like to call, the newest moon to the planet, globaldispatch.com. It will be a very niche show featuring experts and specialists in all kinds of areas of infectious disease, the latest news that's being covered on the globaldispatch.com. And trust me, there's plenty of it. And I'm really looking forward to it. I already got a booked bill for next week. I have a specialist from the Rotary International to come talk about polio. And we'll be discussing a study that's going on in Baylor University where I'm going to be asking the question, did Houston, Texas have a dengue outbreak in 2003?
All right. Well, if you don't want to wait, you want to catch some of that news, theglobaldispatch.com, you'll see the two navigation bars at the top. It has all the categories and pages, and you'll see one there for Outbreak News. This last weekend, on Saturday, we were able to hop over to Unity in Action. We were invited for a day where a lot of different activists around Florida came together, talked about some different efforts from around the state, ban the red light cameras, legalize marijuana. There was all sorts of anti-NDAA. I mean, the list went on and on and on. Bob, was there any take-home or any special things that you got out of that you thought were worth mentioning?
Yeah, a couple of the presenters I found very intriguing. The Florida Cannabis Action Network, talking about medical marijuana. I found that very interesting. And the gentleman, I can't recall his name offhand, was speaking about ban the cams. I found very interesting.
Oh, yeah, that was Henry. Yeah, Henry Bentley. They actually have a protest going on today in Apopka, Florida. They're out there today holding signs and trying to raise awareness to get folks to engage their communities to get rid of red light cameras. So,
and just like to thank Alex Snicker for that opportunity, by the way.
Yes, he and his group did a great job throwing that together. Let's jump to a couple of the headlines. I want to jump to one that really raised the hair on the back of my neck. Not that the Nobel Peace Prize is anything worth touting these days. We seem to dole them out unwarranted, have a long list of folks that are kind of sketchy at best and not necessarily warranting the Nobel Peace Prize nomenclature. However, Malala Yousafzai is a Pakistan teenager who had spoken out and become kind of the face of advocacy there in the Muslim world for educating women and teenage girls and those kinds of things. And the Taliban had jumped on a bus, shot her in the head twice, I believe. She was helicoptered to Britain where they did an emergency surgery, and she has survived, and she's picked up exactly where she left off. She has a book coming out. She floored Jon Stewart during a recent interview with her peaceful nature and her replies to the questions, and Malala was not the Nobel Peace Prize winner. She was completely snubbed. They've given it to a chemical weapons advocacy group that none of us had heard of. Even in the news that we had no idea who these people were. And, I'm not sure that that's to take away from their accomplishments. But the third real high-profile candidate is a gynecologist that works in the Congo, helping women and girls that are being raped and violated by rebels. So somehow the Nobel Commission felt that the Syrian chemical weapons news is probably more influential, and that's the reason they went in that direction. Did you? I mean, we kind of shook our heads at the Nobel Peace Prize anyway. However, what were your thoughts on?
Yeah, I don't want to take anything away from the OPCW. I'm quite frankly, I'm not sure what they've done.
We don't know who they are. We don't really know much of anything about them.
Maybe they have done something pretty incredible. I have no idea. But I do know that the Nobel Peace Prize is really watered down and very political and means very little. And they would have really gained some more respect to the prize by giving it to Malala, I think.
They would have been talking about this for weeks. They would have been in the press. This would have been headlines in newspapers.
Everybody knows her, too.
She's already, the face of women's advocacy and education in the Middle East and the Muslim countries. So bring that much attention would have been huge. It's a really, really big missed opportunity.
I think so.
In our opinion. The